Hello and welcome to Irish Football Fan TV. I'm delighted to be joined by Tom Mortimer from the Hungarian Football Podcast, and we have a upcoming game, Ireland versus Hungary in the Aviva Stadium on Saturday in the World Cup qualifiers. But we decided to get Tom on for an opposition preview. Tom, how are you getting on today? First of all,
Yeah, I'm all good, thank you. How are you?
good man, good. The weather's getting all sorts of seasons,
Yeah.
not ideal, but look, it is what it is. It means that at least there'll be some tackles flying in on the weekend with the weather the way it is. But
Mm.
talk to me. How are you feeling? Are you optimistic coming into this week?
It's a weird one because, like, you look at the players on paper for the Hungarian team, and they've been about as good as they've been since probably the 80s. Right now, obviously you've got like people who stand out, like Szoboszlai, who was obviously unbelievable at the weekend, and Kerkez, who I thought also had a really, really good game against Arsenal. Like two names that massively stand out, but there are also like other players throughout the team, like Loic Nego, Le Havre, and Ben Stardai at Wolfsburg, who are playing really well as well. And like just in general, the team on paper looks really good, but the results haven't been great recently for Hungary, and also the recent results against Ireland. I don't know if you've seen them. It's actually crazy how I think it's 1960s that last time Hungary beat Ireland. It's just the track record for whatever reason is just really bad against Ireland. So that kind of makes me a little bit fearful as well, to be honest.
I actually didn't know that there was results gone back that far that we tell you that you guys haven't beaten us. Obviously, the most recent game was the one in the Aviva before you guys were in the Euros as well. Troy Parrott scored
Yeah,
the late winner, and they seem to have a little bit of a argy bargy with Dominik Szoboszlai in that
yeah.
game, and Seamus Coleman as well. That wasn't, I suppose, the most ideal way for you guys to warm up for a competition, especially coming to us, because at the time, like we weren't seen as being much of a threat compared to
Mm.
you guys. Like, obviously on paper, you were going to the Euros, you look like you the better team.
Yeah, and Hungary went in with a bit of a dark horse kind of label before that tournament because they'd been playing really well and had a few players like Szoboszlai and like I say Kerkez who were on the up and experience has like Gulaci and Orban at the back. It seemed like yeah, and they were in a bit of a transition point as well, like really tactically innovative. And then that game, and I think it was something. It was I think maybe the second long. It was definitely the second longest unbeaten record in international football, and it was an unbeaten record that stretched about 2 years before that Irish game. And that Irish game completely like deflated the whole Hungarian team going into that tournament. Like you say, Szoboszlai got really antsy, really aggy, and it kind of almost threw Hungary off. And then the Euros, it wasn't a disaster. They ended up beating Scotland in the final game, but it wasn't great and ended up going out in the group stage with one win out of three games and lost the other two. So, yeah, that game was Hungary did dominate the ball. They did have a fair few chances, but it wasn't like this is a team that are going to be one of the dark horses for the Euros. So it was a bit of um, a moment to kind of question themselves a little bit. The team definitely did that, and I feel like they got in their heads a little bit. It's affected them definitely during the Euros, but potentially ever since because there's been a little bit of a hangover. And results, yeah, recently haven't been great either, to be honest.
Um, so you mentioned there just about the game against Arsenal between like Szoboszlai looks like he's as good as he's ever been at the moment with Liverpool. Kirk has just got his move from Bournemouth as well. So
Mm.
talk to me a bit about them, and I think you look. I can see kind of on your face there the look of excitement at how Szoboszlai is performing at the moment.
Yeah, I've been wanting to see this version of Szoboszlai for a long time because the Szoboszlai that I've seen from the age of 15 has been this one who takes games by the scruff of the neck, that dominates games, that has this unbelievable technical ability and quality to win a game on his own, basically, which he has done like I say, from the age of 15 for Hungarian youth sides and for the teams that he's been out with at Salzburg, Leipzig. And for the player that I've seen him be at Liverpool so far, is a little bit playing within himself, a little bit of a water carrier sometimes. Like he's amazing at so much of the game. Like technically he's amazing, but also he's so good defensively, he's so good at pressing, works so hard, like so intelligent of where to play. And I think that's also kind of been to his detriment a little bit because he's been playing in a lot of different places and not had the team built around him where he has at Hungary. For Hungary, he's a completely different player. He'll be almost like Hungary's Messi almost. Like he's everything will go through Szoboszlai against Ireland. And seeing him, obviously he was playing at right back against Arsenal and played against right back against Newcastle as well. But he had that license, a little bit like Trent did, to be almost like the creative part of the Liverpool team. And because he was playing with such confidence and such belief, and it was like knocking these balls through like a little bit again, like Trent would. When he was stepping over that free kick, I thought the way he's played today, the way he looks different, like he looks like he does playing for Hungary. I had that confidence in him that he'd actually not score from that range, but hit it really well and hit it on target and make the keeper make a save. Because on this day, I know it was the first free kick of its kind of his in the Premier League. I've seen that free kick so many times for Leipzig, for Hungarian youth teams, for Hungary in general. He scored a beautiful free kick from that range against Turkey in off the post, actually hitting the other side of the goal rather than that side. He's so good at striking the ball, and I think that what we've seen so far is not the best Szoboszlai by far for Liverpool, and I think he has got gears to come into, and I think it's about confidence, really, like believing in himself that he is good enough to play for the champions. And I think potentially winning the league last year has maybe helped that. Also, kind of getting a compatriot on board potentially helps out. Like he said, I think after the game, Trent usually takes the free kick, so I wasn't taking many free kicks, so he's obviously got that responsibility now. And yeah, like I say, I think there are levels to his game that in England people have yet to see so far, and we just see it on a daily. Well, we see it on an international basis for Hungary. He's the best player that Hungary have produced since Puskás, I would say, or the Puskás era anyway, like the 50s. I think he's better than the Ballon d'Or winner Florian Albert, and in international games, he usually does take the game by the scruff of the neck, and everything will go through him. Like I say, on Saturday, and he has also on Friday. Sorry, he has also the license to do what he wants, to find the ball, to literally pop up at left back if he wants to, if that's where he wants to find the ball. Like he has that license, and it's because he's also so much better than everything else that Hungary have got. And I include Kerkez in that as well, to be honest.
I think that's just something that a lot of people can see, that he's a level above. Like I mean, Klopp doesn't spend that much money on you if you're not that good. I think it's just ultimately, you see a lot of players, they take a year maybe to adapt to the Premier League. He's probably taking a little bit longer, but he looks like he's coming into his own now. But and Kerkez as well, obviously had a really good season last year with Bournemouth, and he got his move now, and it looks as though he'll go up a few gears as well, go up a few levels. But just in terms of, obviously we know that they're kind of the two that Ireland should be fearful of, but is there anyone maybe from your point of view who you think that Ireland should be fearful of as well, or maybe an up-and-coming player who we might not be aware of?
Yeah, so there's Roland Szoboszlai, who's at Galatasaray, who is going to be a threat. He always is up top. He used to play in the Bundesliga at Freiburg, and he is like technically very good, but also like a real workhorse. He's just ratty. He'll always be kind of like clicking at your heels, like biting at your heels. runs very, very hard, scores some great goals at times. He will definitely be a threat. Like, he's quite inconsistent. Like, you don't really know what you're ultimately going to get from him. He'll just play off the number 9, I believe. Which another person I think to look out for is the number 9, Barnabas Varga, who plays for Ferencváros, which is obviously Robbie Keane's team. He is an old school number 9, like poacher type. He scored, I think, 6 goals in Champions League qualifying, and Ferencváros didn't qualify for Champions League, but he was every round just like so good. He doesn't need much space in the box to score. Like, he's got a really good first touch, really good at finishing. The rest of his game, not great at. He's okay at linking, but in the penalty box, he's really, really good and has a 1 in 3 record, I think, at international level, which is pretty decent for a player playing for Hungary. He was a real late bloomer as well. He's 30 now. Probably not going to get a move abroad because he's too late really for him now. But he's thriving at Hungary's biggest club. And I guess another one to always kind of look out for is Willy Orban, because he is the person who just like organises defence, organises the midfield, real experienced head. Been at Leipzig, was the captain for a little bit, and yeah, he's just a marshaller at the back. He's actually German born, and so is another lad, Ben Stardai, who's also German born in midfield. He's probably the one, like the up and coming lad. He's part of a trio of brothers who have all played for Hungary. There's Palko Dardai, who's probably won't play for the national team again, but he played a few games, and Martin Dardai, who probably will start. So you probably potentially see a couple of brothers play together. They are also the son of Paul Dardai, who used to be the manager of Hungary, and also Hertha Berlin, I think 3 times. So they were all born in Germany while he was managing and playing in Germany. And but yeah, Benza is 19, plays for Wolfsburg, and pretty good. So yeah, I'd say those are the ones to look out for, especially like I think Varga is the one that might really like be a bit. So people might be a bit surprised, like, this guy's playing in Hungary, like he's really good.
Yeah, well, I was going to ask you like how you're feeling coming into this, because obviously it seems like Ireland and Hungary are going to be the team looking to take that second place after Portugal. I think a lot of people are actually overlooking Armenia. I don't think they'll be easy, but like in realistic terms, it will be us two probably going head to head for that spot. So are you optimistic, considering you said obviously about a hangover and stuff like that? How are you feeling? Because like I just said, from our point of view, like we've players actually coming into this in a bit of form for the first time in a long time, and we can't really say that very often about Ireland's squad coming in. A lot of our players are playing at club level, whereas probably previously when we had done stuff, they were all kind of just making their debuts coming through. Now a lot of them are established, like Nathan Collins and Caoimhín Kelleher and Evan Ferguson and all these sort of players.
Yeah, it's really difficult, because I think on paper I'd say Hungary definitely have the better side. Ireland don't have the type of quality that obviously the Liverpool lads do. Evan Ferguson's obviously like has a lot of talent, and I've heard he started really well at Roma as well. And Troy Parrott is obviously out, isn't he?
Yeah.
I think that's a big loss. So I feel like on paper Hungary have the better team, but Hungary are caught between systems a bit at the moment, and that's my fear. I think from what I've heard under your Icelandic boss, who I can't remember his name.
Heimir Hallgrímsson.
Yeah, you've gone back to basics a little bit with how you play, and I think that Hungary, when they were at the best, they were back to basics team. Like, they relied on counter-attack, they relied on being solid defensively, and in the last couple of days, like the message from the camp, from the Hungarian camp, has been, we need to be defensively solid, because they haven't been before. Like recently, like I said, they're caught between systems, trying to play a little bit too much because they've got a lot of technically able players that they've not had before. But that means they're a bit more exposed, they're a bit more open to counterattacks, a little bit like what happened in the last game that we played a year ago. Like Ireland caught Hungary on counter-attacks a number of times, really. And Hungary, though they are technically much better than they used to be, they're not quite good enough to dominate games that much at the moment. So it's a risky, the transition has been a bit risky. And I wonder, now that World Cup qualifications on the horizon, whether Hungary actually might go back to a little bit more of a basic formation and system, which might help them, especially in an away game like this. And it might be that Hungary try and like let Ireland come onto them a little bit, but that's speculation on my part because it hasn't been the way recently. Like Hungary have been the team that have been trying to be front foot, trying to be dominant, but it's just not worked out. So I'm a little bit fearful because I think like Ireland are getting better. I think there's a belief, there's a positivity there that Ireland have not had. They definitely didn't have under Kenny, and I'm a little bit fearful that if Hungary do try and go front foot, they'll get caught on the counter and potentially lose. And I think a loss wouldn't be disastrous, but like you say, yeah, Armenia aren't a bad team, but the Portugal game, you're banking on both of us losing home and away, really. And then it kind of comes down to these games being almost like a playoff, and we lose against you guys away. There is a way back, but it's a lot more difficult. And you guys can come to Budapest and play for a draw, and that might be the end. So it's kind of crazy how much is on this game, and it's the first game of the group.
Yeah, and I actually think a lot of people are feeling the same way about us from both sides of the camp. But if I was to ask you to build a combined 11 with me, now, if we don't agree on some, we won't go on too long. We'll leave it to the comments for them to decide, because there's only obviously two of us. So yeah, well, starting goals, I'm going to back Creevy and Kelleher for this one.
Yeah, I would do the same, to be honest. I really used to like our keeper, there was, but he's dropped off a little bit recently. He made a really bad mistake against Sweden. He's been in pretty not great form as well for Ferencváros, so I would go with Kelleher too.
Yeah, I think just because you mentioned Liverpool, I'm an Everton fan, so there's actually no bias there. But I would say maybe there's an Irish bias. But he every time he went in to play for Liverpool, he's done quite well. You actually have similar kind of hair to him, actually. Now that I see.
That's true. Yeah, it's true. I used to be a goalkeeper when I was younger. Not quite as good as him though. But
well, there you go.
He is really good. Like I'm surprised. I'm surprised bigger clubs didn't go in for him.
Yeah, same.
Actually.
Yeah, same. Just before we continue, just what formation are we going? We go 4-3-3, 4-4-2.
Yeah, 4-3-3 works. Like Hungary do play 3-4-2-1, but 4-3-3 is good, isn't it? Yeah.
Okay, so we'll go right back, and I mean we've a kind of a toss up here between Matt Doherty, Jake O'Brien for Ireland, and then from your point of view,
we'd have. I think Bendegúz-Bola potentially will play, but Loic Nego is also the other option. Loic Nego plays for Le Havre in Liga, and Bendegúz-Bola plays in Switzerland. I think I would go with the Premier League boys, though. To be honest, from my perspective, I love Loic Nego, but he's getting on a bit.
Yeah, I just think Matt Doherty's actually improved a lot under Vitor Pereira at Wolves, and I think he's most likely going to be the right back. And then Jake O'Brien, since David Moyes has come in, has been an ever present and kind of shown his quality despite being a centre back playing right back. So yeah, we'll move on to left back. I think you've won that race because we don't have a kind of qualified left back really this time around. I think we've got Ryan Manning and Liam Scales. Potentially Matt Doherty could play there. We would have Robbie Brady, but still I would go with Kerkez there. I think that's a unanimous decision there.
Yeah, he's so good, and being only 20 years old and being that good is pretty crazy. The only thing I'd say about Kerkez is weirdly he's not been very good for Hungary so far, so that is, I guess, a good thing potentially for Ireland. I like Zoltan Hodge, who usually replaces him after about 60 minutes. He's weirdly been much better. Who's never ever actually played outside of Hungary, but yeah, on paper Kerkez is I think top.
Yeah. Well, then we'll just go with a centre half pairing. So that's most likely going to be Nathan Collins and Darragh O'Shea.
Mhm.
Um, I would say you're going to put Orban in there.
Yeah, I think Orban has to be in there. Like he's been one of the Bundesliga's best defenders for a long time now. I probably wouldn't put anyone else ahead of your boys though, to be honest.
Well,
I think
I
Orban.
could put Orban ahead of Darragh O'Shea alongside Nathan Collins. I think we can compromise that.
Yeah, I think that works. I think Hungary's other defenders, I wouldn't put them near it, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah. No fair. And like Darragh O'Shea, if you're watching, no offense meant. It's just that Nathan Collins is the captain. I think Orban's the captain, or Szoboszlai is.
Szoboszlai, yeah, Orban maybe would be captain. He doesn't actually speak that well Hungarian that
Ah,
well because
fair.
obviously he's born in Germany. So yeah.
Ah, yeah, fair. And then yeah, so I was moving it into midfield. So then it's just like a midfield three. Our kind of sitting midfielder would be Josh Cullen. I'm not sure who yours is.
So it would have been Andras Schaefer, but he's actually out injured. Schaefer is quality player from Union Berlin, but he's out injured, which is a big loss actually. Ben Stardai will play alongside, I think, Alex Toth from Ferencváros. But yeah, I mean, Alex Toth, he's quite a young lad, and so is Ben Stardai. So it's difficult. I think I would go with your centre
Yeah, I think in
midfield.
fairness to Josh Cullen, he has improved a hell of a lot. Like he moved to Anderlecht, then he went back to Burnley. Vincent Company brought him both places, and then he's really excelled. He's actually started the Premier League really well this season as well. So that's why I think I'd edge him in there. But you are going to get Szoboszlai in here regardless. So at least you'll have someone in there.
Yeah, that's true, and yeah, because Callum Styles would be the one. Very Hungarian name in Callum Styles. His grandmother actually is Hungarian, and he only knew that for a month before Hungary came in and poached him. I think he found out during COVID, and a Hungarian fan found out during. I think they read it in a Barnsley program before the game, and they were like knocking. Like I think they sent an email to the Hungarian FA, and then they went and snapped him up quite quickly.
Probed.
But he's at West Bromwich Albion in Championship, so you have to go with the Premier League boys. But yeah, Szoboszlai would be in the midfield as well. Though.
Yeah, so there's Josh Cullen, Szoboszlai, and then I mean we've got Finn Azaz, but he's Championship, but he looks really good. Jason Knight and him, I think, would be our other two alongside Josh Cullen, more than likely, or Jack Taylor. So it's just whoever's going to partner Szoboszlai, I suppose, as that other number 8.
I think I would actually go with Benza Dardai. So yeah, I think I would, because last season he was a Bundesliga regular at 18, 19. He's been on the bench a couple of times this season, but I think I would go with that. I wouldn't go with Styles just because, though I think he will play centre midfield, I can't put him ahead of the players who you just mentioned playing in the Championship, because he plays for West Brom at left back. So it's, yeah.
Okay, we'll go with Ben Sadade, but I did think Finn Azaz is a bit hard done by. But we've got most of the Irish players in here, so I'm willing to compromise a few. Then we're looking at a front three. More than likely on the left hand side, it's probably going to be Mikey Johnston for Ireland. I'm trying to think of who else they could put out there, but it's more than likely going to be him. Yeah. So Championship West Brom, you just spoke about them there.
Yeah, I would say
It could be
I'd say
potentially
Roland
as well.
Shaw.
Sorry, it could be potentially as well. Casey McAteer, who just signed from Leicester to Ipswich.
I would say Roland Chalet is a better player than them. He was a Bundesliga regular for about 4 or 5 years at Freiburg, especially when they were doing really well and they qualified for Europe quite a few years, scored a fair few goals, and then went to Galatasaray and's been in a league winning team, playing pretty much every week. He used to play left wing when he was playing for Freiburg, and kind of usually plays on the right at Galatasaray, but he also played on the left a fair bit for Hungary before they played the 3-4-2-1. But yeah, I would say that he's a better player personally.
When did
He's
he
one
play?
of Hungary's best players for sure.
And he'll be playing Champions League and that as well. Unfortunately, I don't know if you saw Mikey Johnson was linked with a move to Flamengo. It fell through in the summer.
Oh, was that him? Yeah, I did see that. Yeah. That I
He
did.
flew
That
over and the
would have been
fans.
a crazy move. That Jesus.
Yeah, he flew over and the fans had outrage.
Oh,
Basically,
really?
yeah, the fans basically stopped the move from happening, which I thought was a bit bizarre. He's not that
Wow.
bad, like he's not terrible. He's not mad enough to cause an outrage. But look, they're Brazilians. That's sometimes they can be a bit wild. But
Is Callum O'Dowda in your squad? Just thought
no,
about.
I think that's a bit of a surprise because obviously he's done all right at Ferencvaros, and
Been really good. Yeah. Been really surprised by how good he is actually.
you'd think that he would come in place of Robbie Brady, but he's gone with Ryan Manning, and then Liam Scales can operate there as well. So it looks as like it'll be one of those two that'll play there. He seems to like Manning a lot as well.
Right. How is Callum O'Dowda been in the squad a bit before that? 'Cause I
he,
was surprised that he made the move, especially like being World Cup year. Like, would he think that going to Ferencvaros might not be able to get him in the squad or something?
yeah, he comes in and out like I wouldn't be surprised if he's in next month. It's kind of that sort of thing.
Right.
Like, especially
Okay.
he's playing regular European football. I wouldn't be surprised if he kind of came in. But we could have thrown him on the left wing, but he's not in the squad.
Yeah.
On the right hand side, then we got, I suppose, Casey McIntyre or Chiedozie Ogbene. And I would go with Chiedozie Ogbene. I think he's really, really good. Had a bad year of injuries last year, but when he plays for Ireland, I don't know, he just goes up in levels.
Yeah, there's not much here because Hungary don't play with wingers. There isn't much there, and genuinely, even if they did play with wingers, I can't even think of a guy who would potentially play right wing. To be honest, Roland Shalai, but he's obviously playing on left, or potentially Szoboszlai, but obviously he's playing in midfield. So I'd say Raymond Molnar, but he's not had a cap and he plays in Poland, so I can't. It's not much competition for this one, to be fair.
All right, we'll go with Chiedozie then, and then up front. I mean, I'll have to go with Evan here. I just think that
Yeah.
Evans, he is different class, and I think he's only going to go up in levels, and I think we'll see that a lot more this season. Obviously, while he's at Roma.
Yeah, I think there's no debate. I really, really like Barnabas Varga, and I think he's going to be a threat in these two games. He's got a great personality about him, like really tenacious, really good goal scorer. I think he's actually getting better under Robbie Keane at Ferencvaros. And I guess if anything, Robbie Keane's going to be able to teach him is how to score goals and how to be a better penalty box striker. But I think there's no comparison between a 30-year-old guy who plays for Ferencvaros, even though he's been really good, especially this season, scores a lot of goals, has scored a lot of goals already this season, consider it's only September. But Evan Ferguson, I think, is different class, especially if he can stay injury free. And the way he started from the couple of half games I've seen of Roma, he looks really good. His touch is kind of back.
Yeah,
he
he's looking
seems to at least
sharp.
have his confidence. Yeah, he does look sharp. So yeah, I think there's no debate over that.
Oh, well, it's a pretty decent team, to be fair. I'm glad that we didn't have to have an argument over one and then leave it to the comments.
Yeah, I'm a little bit fearful because I think I said about 3 or 4 times that Hungary have a better team on paper, and now we've gone through the team. I think there are more Irish players in there, isn't there?
I think so, yeah. I'll have to go and listen back. Well, we've got Kelleher, right back Doherty, Nathan Collins, and then midfield Josh Cullen. I think and then 2 wingers, or sorry, Ogbene and Ferguson, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I think 6.
Yeah, so yeah, I think Hungary's better two are the best two, but apart from that, I think it's
even enough.
pretty even, really.
Yeah, no, I think so. I think that like we're obviously they're the ones we're fearing more so is obviously the 2 that you mentioned. But tell me before you go, just your prediction of how you think the game will go. Score prediction.
I'm gonna say 1-1, but that's me being optimistic. I'm a little bit fearful that Ireland are going to win. I'm more expectant of Ireland winning than Hungary winning. But I'm going to say 1-1. I think because it's the first game, I think maybe both teams might start quite conservatively and probably take a draw. But I feel like it's one of those games that could really go either way.
Yeah, well, I said last night on the preview, I think I said my heart saying my head is saying 1-1, but my heart said 1-0. So that's why I went 1-0, hoping more so that Ireland will win. But like that, I think it'll probably end up being a 1-1 draw, which leaves the group open then if all results kind of go well, obviously up until we meet again.
Yeah.
Then you think that's going to be the crunch game. Then if we play you guys, depending on
Yeah.
results, like you could go beat Portugal or whatever. I can't see us beating Portugal, but I think you've got the star power that you may
That
be able to.
that is the thing, like because of someone like Szoboszlai and the way he can take a grip of a game, and also like if you just saw on Sunday, like Liverpool weren't great at all, and the game was so tight. It can just these types of games can just come down to like a pure moment of class, and the fact that he can score free kicks from 30 yards or score screeners from 30 yards, that can tip a balance of a game. And obviously football's such a game of small margins, so you just never know.
The only thing I'll hope is that Queven Keller has done enough practice on Szoboszlai
That
in
is true.
training
That
that
is true. Yeah,
he'll know his good strengths and bad strengths. Hopefully,
that is true. And also Szoboszlai takes penalties, and I think he's only ever missed one. Yeah, that is also a little bit of fear that he's faced that before as well.
yeah. Well, just before I let you go, do you want to let the listeners or viewers know where they can find you guys, and just plug your podcast?
Yeah, so our account, our Twitter account is Magyar Foci Live, which is MAGYARFOCI Live. Or I'm no longer on Twitter, but I am on Blue Sky. So my name's Tom Mortimer. If you are on Blue Sky for whatever reason, I'm on there if you want to.
All right. Well, listen, Tom, thanks very much for your time. Best of luck. May the best team win on Saturday. And let's just hope that, I suppose our lives aren't ruined after Saturday with one of us suffering defeat. So let's play it by ear and see how we go.
Yeah, cheers for having me on, and best of luck to you guys as well.
Yeah, no problem. Well, hopefully we'll get you on maybe again when we're playing again away. I'm actually going to be over in Budapest for that one, but we'll get you on again. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe if you're watching, guys, and go give Tom and the Hungarian podcast a follow as well. We'll speak to you later. Thanks for watching.